The latest in a series of extreme weather events around the world that experts say have been made more likely by climate change. Firefighters continue to battle wildfires in Hawaii. At least 36 people have been killed. The popular tourist town of Lahaina on the island of Maui has been largely burned to the ground. U.S. President Joe Biden has declared a major disaster, triggering the release of federal funding for the people in Maui County. And U.S. soldiers have joined search and recovery efforts. Let's take a listen to what President Biden had to say in the last few minutes.
I want to say a word about the devastating wildfires that have claimed at least 36 lives in Maui and Hawaii. We have just approved a major disaster declaration for Hawaii, which will get, and I've directed that we surge support to these brave firefighters and first responders and emergency personnel working around the clock there, risking their lives. I just got off the phone before I got here for a long conversation with Governor Josh Green this morning and let him know I'm going to make sure the state has everything it needs from the federal government to recover. The FEMA Administrator Griswold will be in Maui tomorrow, and I've directed her to streamline any process with requests for help and survivors registered for immediate federal assistance without delay. FEMA is surging disaster assistance personnel on the island, and they're going to help survivors get access to federal assistance. And you know, anybody who wants to know out there where to go if this is televised, that they can go to disasterassistance.gov, disasterassistance.gov, to learn if you're eligible for assistance. And I've ordered all available federal assets on the island, including the U.S. Coast Guard, the Navy 3rd Fleet, and the U.S. Army, to assist local emergency response crews along with the Hawaiian National Guard. We're working as quickly as possible to fight these fires and evacuate residents and tourists. In the meantime, our prayers with the people of Hawaii, but not just our prayers. Every asset we have will be available to them, and they've seen their homes, their business destroyed, and some have lost loved ones, and it's not over yet.
President Biden speaking there a short while ago, and my colleague Clive Myrie has been taking a closer look at the scale of the fires and the extent of the destruction.
A paradise well and truly lost. The Hawaiian island of Maui, more Dante's Inferno.
Oh my gosh, look at the harbor.
A helicopter pilot used to ferrying tourists over a magical landscape.
Oh my gosh.
Now watching blonde, pristine beaches turn black.
This looks like Baghdad or something.
The high street in the historic city of Lahaina. Shops and livelihoods burned. Explosions as petrol stations, anything combustible ignites in the ferocious heat.
This is not even the worst of it. Still get dead bodies in the water, floating, and on the seawall. They've been sitting there since last night. We've been pulling people out since last night, trying to save people's lives. And I feel like we're not getting the help we need.
Woke up this morning and got on our phones to pictures of our house, just down to the slab, nothing but smoke.
And here's another picture. This, a satellite image of Lahaina taken last month. And this image, taken just yesterday, a holiday snap from hell.
We understand Hawaiian homelands was destroyed, a school was destroyed, many of the businesses, a church was destroyed. It's going to take years.
Years to fix a broken land, but with the specter of climate change an ever-present danger.
Let's bring in our Washington correspondent, Lorna Gordon, who's been looking into President Biden's efforts to help Hawaii. Lorna, it's good to see you. Tell us more about what the president's declaration means.
Yeah, President Biden declared a major emergency. This unlocks federal funds to aid in the recovery effort. It gets money into the hands of those who really need it. He said they'll prioritise those who've lost loved ones, those who've lost their hands. And, you know, this really was and has been a catastrophic situation on Maui. Those fires were fast, they were destructive, they were deadly. Eyewitnesses witnesses, some of the testimony quite distressing, talk of having just minutes to leave their homes. One said the firestorm was so fast that he doused himself with water, tried to run to the sea, but his rubber slippers were melting as he ran. Another who lost his home talked of seeing bodies floating in the seawall by the harbour. That number of 36 reported dead is expected to rise. You know, the efforts to contain the fires are still ongoing. President Biden has said all federal assets in the area will help, because there are, of course, a number of military bases in Hawaii. There's a naval base. The fleet, one of the fleets is in the area. The Army, the National Guard, the Coast Guard as well are all now assisting. The local authorities say at any one time 100 firefighters are on the ground to try and contain the blazes, but there are difficulties with communication. Some of the cell phone networks have been down. There's talk of people sleeping in their cars. Thousands have been evacuated to shelters. Thousands more are being evacuated off the island. Tourists are being assisted to get home. Others who were planning to go to Lahaina, because it is a big tourist destination, are being asked not to head there. And the local authorities say the damage, well, it will take months